All right, duelists, welcome back. We promised you that we would fix the audio issues, and ideally, in the same way that my hat's a little skew, we should have fixed the balance on that. And so, hopefully, you can hear me from this ear and that ear. Let us know in the chat, and as we continue through the day, let us know about any other issues. To give you some updates, we are in round 2. If you're just joining us, maybe you just got the notification. And in about 5 or so minutes, they're going to call time. Unfortunately, hopefully there's no double match losses, but we'll go ahead and get our round 3 started underway in just a moment. But again, we should be able to be heard by you on both ears, and if we can, you tell us because we want to know. Thanks again for helping us improve the broadcast. And again, if you're just joining us or watching the VOD, this is going to be round 2 going into round 3 of our 9-round tournament. 200 and I want to say 71 players. 200. I'm going to get my handy dandy notes here. And our notes say that we have 217 players. Misremembered there. We are going to have top 32 players are going to get their invite. Top 8 players obviously get some great swag. And we just get to see some cool Doom dimensions. If you wanted to see the previous duels, we do have a K9 Cyber Dragon versus Yummy for round 2 already on the channel and uploaded as a stream bot. And for round 1, we had Radiant Typhoon against, get this, none other than Aditya, just rocking out some great gameplay with Draco Tail. So we'll be back before you know it. Again, only about 4 or 5 minutes until we get into the next round paperwork underway, and then we get to select our duelists and give you some great gameplay action. But again, just let us know if anything's wrong. We'll do our best to fix it, and until then, stay tuned because it's almost that sacred time. It's almost time to duel. All right, Duelist, I just check in the midpoint. Don't get excited. We're not starting just yet, but we are going to be going into round 3 shortly. We're also going to have a lunch break after round 3, so we'll see what we can do to just hang out in between so you're not just looking at dead air. But so far, our tournament honestly has some really interesting stuff. I've seen Jirak out there. There's Blue Eyes, which is pretty cool just to see the dragon still doing it. There is Sword Soul out in the tournament. There's a lot of stuff that's actually still undefeated, so we're going to try to grab all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Weirdness we can, because I know, you've seen some of the good stuff before, but it's not every day that you see undefeated going into round 3, some of these decks, and, well, we want to catch them before that magic goes away in any way. Again, I'm Pharoahmone. You are here watching the Game Guys Regional Championship. They do this every Regional Championships. This is Doom of Dimensions, and then just when the next set drops in the next set. Usually you're in about 4 of these a year, and again, it's just insane. Because certain regions don't even get 4 YCSs each year, and they're doing their best to put on a great stream. You've seen the crowd camera. We've got over 200 duelists here in attendance, and it has been a good time so far. But we still have 7 more rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! We're going to have top 32 duelists are going to get their invites today, and top 8, of course, are going to get their game mats, their regional deck boxes for top 4. Some really, really cool stuff. So, that said, hopefully you're having a good time. If there's anything that you want to bring to our attention, we do have tech support in the chat, so they'll be happy to fix anything. The audio should be fixed. That was me praying to all 3 Egyptian god cards, we hope. But it is good to see you, and I can actually see the chat, so it's good to see you, Matt Chu, and Julio, and everybody else who frequents the Game Guys Regional Championship here. So, that said, do I notice something? I noticed that you're out there and you're not here. This is a regional that you actually could travel for. There's a lot of people from all over the country here, and there's even Yu-Gi-Oh! Judges here from all over the country. I think the furthest person I've found so far is from Florida. Texas is kind of centrally located, so you're not going to get much further than like Florida, other than like New York City or maybe NorCal. We'll see. But it's got a really big like FGC vibe here. Like this is different than any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Venue you've been to, because, of course, they own this venue. No shade on other regionals. I'm not saying anything bad about other regionals, but some regionals are at event centers, like, just a stadium or maybe a convention center, etc. And so they don't have the ability to decorate and do cool lighting and put out like 100 gaming chairs for the people who are at the top tables. Game Guys owns their own venue, so they get to do all this weird stuff. And so we just get to see a look of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is just unlike anything I have ever seen before. They were last year's featured official tournament store. So again, big shout out to like the host and venue here. This is insane. I don't know what to say. I'm going to put on like the button for the crowd control as we wait for the next round to start. And like, you tell me if you've ever seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Look like this. We'll be back soon. Okay, so it actually looks like our duelist will be here before you know it. I've got this empty chair here. We'll save this for the winner of this duel. But pretty soon, our duelist should be approaching the stage, and I think I see a familiar face out there. Is that our YCS Houston champion? I think it is. That might be Pascal. So we're going to go ahead and get this edited here and take a look. Gonna get those names. It's like duelist number 1, sitting on down, is gonna be on the other side. Never mind. Yeah, it is Pascal, YCS Houston champion of this year's YCS in Houston, which is wild to think about that it's been so long since the Forbidden Limited list was dropped at that one. And Henry Martinez there on the left. Obviously, both duelists coming into this with 2 wins, no losses. Pascal winning YCS Houston with Memento. We shall see if that's what he ends up playing here. Got a very well worn in deck box. Shows you that he is playing his cards often. But yeah, we have magically switched over to our gameplay camera and right in the nick of time because it's gameplay time. And I am excited to see what Pascal has decided to bring out. Still pile shuffling. Hey, it's okay if you do it before the duel. But just don't take up the time during the duel. A shuffle is a shuffle is a shuffle is a shuffle. Sufficiently randomized is all we're looking for. Speaking of random, let's get a dice roll here. Nope, right off the table here. So we got 5 and... We're going to re-roll both. I think we're going to re-roll both. Oh, no, just the one. 5 plus 4 is 9. Mr. Martinez grabs his own dice. Ooh, also a 9. Evenly matched. Looks like we are back over here, but let's get back over to the gameplay. So, let me go ahead and take a quick look at production. I'll be right back. All right, my bad. Looks like we got everything fixed up now, so you should be able to see our duelists here. And what a duel, beginning off with activating the effect of Primite Dragon Ether Barrel, using it to set Primite Lordly Load, flipping that up to grab a fabulous copy of Primite Fusion, and then Link summoning, since Henry Martinez is playing Blue Eyes, straight into Spirit with Eyes of Blue. And now that we've sent that Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard with the Scooby Mausoleum of White, now we get to see where this deck's really going. There's some really interesting stuff you could do with Primite Dragon Nether Berzelius in this format because it is able to negate and prevent your opponent from using any effects of their monsters whose levels or ranks equal or are less than the amount of normal monsters in your graveyard. So there's already 2, and imagine that. You can really shut down Yummy almost completely because of all of the Link ones and level ones in the deck. But let's see if that actually turns out to be, because Pascal is famous for playing Memento. So we are going to go ahead and make out our... Oh, we are doing Memento after that seal pass. So we are starting off with Mementotlin Darkblade. Are we going to discard to destroy? You might see the fields a little different, by the way. Pascal famously left-handed. All right, so we are going to go and negate that. Interesting to see the Primite Drill Beam flipped over there. Considering his options, are we going to chain anything? We are. It's going to be the Goblin Biker Grand Entrance here, so not a lot of changes to the deck from Pascal's winning list. Memento's honestly still good. So we are going to go ahead and bring out a Goblin here. After sending the monster to the graveyard, which means we are going to get that effect. It won't be banished. Very important to get those memento names to the graveyard. We do have the Mementotlin Goblin standing by itself in defense mode. Maybe considering on Henry Martinez's side using the Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, you could bounce it off the field. But it looks like not. We're going to go ahead and destroy Mementotlin Goblin to send 2 memento cards to the graveyard. And I feel like he's got to have a good plan to deal with these memento cards if we let that resolve, because that's already 5 memento cards in the graveyard, adding Sleepy and Gaddock from the deck to the sacred spot. Now we're going to see triple tactics talent. Must be nice. YCS champion privilege just to get that one of at the right time. Are we going to draw cards? And I thought, by the way, that we were playing left-handed, but we're not playing left-handed. We're just going to take, by the way, the seals that we don't respond. Makes sense, but instead we are going to go ahead and activate Mementotlin Fusion. Oh, wow, but the Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion hitting the graveyard there. And I really like the sleeves that Henry's using. They're very, like, tight on the card. You can't quite tell that there's even a sleeve at all when they're face up there. But we did get Diffuse, so we are going to bring out the Twin Dragon. Twin Dragon's going to destroy itself in order to grab the Tatsunoko Toshigo, Mementotlin's favorite seahorse. Now, it won't be able to be special summoned because of the Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres here. And you almost don't want to tribute your opponent's seal, because then you'll have tributed that monster. And that'll mean they can go ahead and grab a dragon. But we are going to see Sleepy hit the field from its own effect. And it's fusion time. 2 from the hand, 1 from the field. This could be a Guardian Chimera. Oh, no, we're actually just going to go for the Creation King here. Not getting greedy, trying to draw more cards, just trying to consistently set up those combos that Pascal is known for. Memento's a great deck. People are like, what does this deck do? It does whatever it wants to do, but it does remind me of decks where the pieces aren't as important as the final puzzle. Some decks are like Art Mage, where every monster matters. Some decks are Memento. They're just here and bye Gaddock, bye Sleepy, served your purpose, and on to the next one. Creation King obviously able to send cards from the deck and extra deck to the graveyard. So we'll see what ends up happening here. We are going to go ahead and send, I count another Gaddock. And looks like Mementotlin Anguish, as well as an additional Creation King. And that Creation King appears to be banished almost immediately now to grab Memento Mictlan, the field spell. If you're curious about what Memento really does, it's just one of those decks that's able to bob and weave and navigate around the opponent's effects, typically just trying to set up a big boss monster and attack directly for 3,000 and 5,000 by the effect of Mementotlin Akihiron. We are going to have some cards destroyed, so we do clear away the Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. Didn't tribute it, though, which is nice. Destroying it with the Mementotlin Bone Party to party on, dudes, right? Doom Dimensions here. It's the 4-letter acronym for the set. And now we're going to return 5 different Memento names. So it's going to be Gaddock Goblin, Akihiron, and the Mementotlin Fusion Dragon, as well as I think that was Goblin. But either or, going to go ahead and pack it up. I think that's enough for Henry. He knows that the big punches are coming. So that means that Pascal, our player 2, has won the first duel. We'll put a star on the board for him in just a moment. But yeah, no, it shows you memento. Sometimes, you know, and I try to preach this to duelists, but it always means more when people just see it happen in tournament play. You can play whatever you want. Yeah, the new set has a lot of cool stuff in it and changes the format. But that doesn't take away your right as an individual to duel the way you did. And that's what Pascal's doing, just running it back, trying to win. A local friend of the community, right? If I recall correctly, came from New York City, moved down to Texas. I can relate to that. But now Pascal is just showing up to game, guys, and just getting it done. Henry's got his work cut out for him. Obviously, Blue Eyes certainly has some ways around the memento strategy, chiefly because it can negate one monster effect in the graveyard. That could be huge in and of itself because of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. But we didn't really get to see much of that. So we'll see if Henry, likely to go first on game 2, can run it back. Only about 8 or so minutes used up on the clock. I think about 42 minutes left on the timer overall. So this is definitely going to go the distance. Speaking of going the distance, if you're here to stay with us for all of these rounds, remember, after round 3, we have a lunch break. I don't know when we're coming back yet. When I find out that time, we'll make sure that it's not only told to you via audio, but we also put it up on the screen. But no information on that yet, so hang tight. We'll let you know when we know. Now, side decking for this duel is definitely going to be interesting. Not really a lot of exploitable weaknesses from Memento other than there are fusion-based decks. You could use something like Dimensional Barrier if you have it in your side deck. But beyond that, we'll have to see what kind of weird tricks Henry pulls out. On the flip side, you know, Blue Eyes obviously needs to special summon stuff and does search a pretty decent amount of cards from the deck to the hand. But there are some combo lines you could play with the Primite Dragon Ether Barrel, just sending the Blue Eyes to the graveyard that way, and then all of a sudden your Spirit with Eyes of Blue can just tribute in order to still get a Blue Eyes out no matter what. Got to be careful the way you do that, though. Order of operations is important, but it is a cool way to deal with some of the weirdness. You can also just special summon Blue Eyes out, too, from the deck. We are going to see that pile shuffle again. Did we really shuffle? I don't know. The judge is out on this one, or the jury, I should say. But we'll see as the format continues to develop and the new rules continue to be enforced how people feel about that type of shuffling. The both duelists managed to get their side decking done in under 3 minutes. So we're going to get back into it. Little respect knuckles there. And Henry goes ahead and grabs 5 cards and is likely to go first in this duel. Game 2, round 3. Both duelists coming into this with an unblemished record, 2-0. And we're going to start off with another Primite Dragon Ether Barrel. Normal summoning it, no response. That's one of the kind of weaknesses of Pascal's Mementotlin deck. You don't have a lot of opportunities to include non-Memento cards. Blue Eyes not necessarily as susceptible to that. Got to see Blue Eyes Bestial in YCS Lille. Now we're just seeing Blue Eyes of some kind here at Game Guys Regional Championships. Going to go and flip up the Primite Lordly Load, but the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring does stop that. Looks like we'll link summon then. And so we are going to go ahead and bring out the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Going to go and add from the deck to the hand the Mausoleum of White. Play in Mausoleum of White. Of course, you can send a Blue Eyes from the deck to power up a monster. Doesn't have to be a Blue Eyes, usually just a normal monster, but what other monster would you run? So, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Beautiful, ultra rare copy there. I wonder if it's an SDK. Starter deck Kaiba. But now that's 1100 attack Spirit with Eyes of Blue. We'll activate Wishes for Eyes of Blue, discarding another Blue Eyes. That one looks a little different. Perhaps the Duelist Saga one. It's got a little bit more glow to it. I don't know if it's healthy skin or what its beauty routine is, but it is a shinier card. So we are resolving Wishes for Eyes of Blue, adding a level 1 light tuner monster, and a card that mentions Blue Eyes, Fellow Trap. So what are you wishing for, Henry? Does that little duelist mouth calculation. It's almost like you're playing an abacus in your head. If I do this, then I do that, then I do this, then I do that. Okay, these are the cards I'll grab. And the card we grabbed is Sage with Eyes of Blue, using the additional normal summon of the Mausoleum of White. Allows level 1 light tuners to be popped out in addition to your normal summon and set. Grabbing Maiden of White, discarding Maiden of White, or rather sending it from the hand to the graveyard to place onto the field. True Light. Certainly stopped the Primite Drill Beam, which is important if you're Pascal. The Ash Blossom being given up so early is not what allowed all this to happen. It's what prevented all this from happening and having a spell-based negate that could stop any of those Memento monsters, not only negating their effects, but banishing the card in general. So we're going to go ahead and send Spirit. Blue Eyes White Dragon makes an encore performance in defense mode at the center of the field. And now it's time for a Synchro Monster. Now it's not time for a Synchro Monster. Sorry to rewind that one. Very smart here, though, stopping himself before he missed an opportunity to banish the Wishes for Eyes of Blue and equip a Blue Eyes monster, putting in Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Now we'll go ahead and perform a Synchro Summon here. That Neo Blue Eyes is going to be a targeting negate in the graveyard. Also destroys the card. Some targeting in Memento, so that could come up. We're going to go ahead and Synchro Summon Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon in defense mode. And then I think we're just going to bring out another Blue Eyes with Maiden of White in tote this time. That's going to make a second Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. So the True Light there, special summoning the Blue Eyes, didn't use its ability to set any spells or traps. Although, speaking of which, we're going to set 2 spells or traps. Let's go and cut the deck. And I'm curious to see if this is like the full Crimson Dragon combo. Maybe we're going to try to get a little bit of mileage out of these Blue Eyes Spirit Dragons before we tag out respectively. You could use the effect of one, tag into Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, and then bring out Crimson Dragon to bring out something like Stardust Cipher Dragon, Cosmic Blazer Dragon. The sky is literally the limit. Starting out the same way here, though. Mementotlin Darkblade, normal summoned. Activating the effects. Don't think we're discarding. We're just going to try to destroy itself. Henry, not sure what he wants to do here. Takes a look at his set cards. Quick check of the hand. We're going to let that resolve. So Darkblade, destroyed. Now we're going to special summon a level 3 or lower. It's going to be that gorgeous, brand new Quarter Century Secret Rare. I mean, it's brand new-ish. It was out in April. But Angwitch going to go ahead and search from the deck to the hand a Memento monster. And we're going to search out what I appear to be Sleepy, just from the colors. We are going to special summon our seahorse here, Mementotlin Tatsuno Otoshiko. That's the effect activating here. Not trying to summon 2 monsters at one time, so curious to see what the interaction is here from Henry. So the seahorse attempting to use its effect, but it's going to be Dragon's Mind. Wow. If you control a monster with 2,500 attack or 2,500 defense, negate the activation of that card and destroy it. You can also pay 2,500 life points to reset it back to the field. And very heads up play there. Just in the nick of time, unless he's running 3 of them and he just happened to get all the goods. But now, wow, Sleepy's effect activate. We're going to chain Ultimate Fusion. Oh, wow. And we're going to chain True Light True Light to special summon a Blue Eyes back to the field as Chain Link 3. Then Chain Link 2 happens, and then we're going to fuse, combining 1 Blue Eyes from the field and Spirit with Eyes of Blue. And so then, that's going to allow the destruction of as many cards as were Blue Eyes White Dragons on the field. So the Anguish is going to get destroyed, still in Chain Link 2. Then in Chain Link 1, you get your Mementot and Sleepy. I play both of these decks. It's really cool to see them go against each other, but I'll tell you, that Ultimate Fusion surprises a lot of people because of the ability for you. It's not even like something where you can chain block it out. It's just, if they still have True Light and you don't stop the True Light, here comes a Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, good. 3,400, very big, but not bigger than all the Memento monsters, right? You've got that Combined Creation, Tekutlika, at 5,000 attack. But speaking of attack points here, and speaking of fusion summons too, looks like we are going to go for the Mementot Fusion, but it's stopped by Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion seems like really good this format. I don't think I have a deck currently including it in the main deck. I might be the silliest duelist out there because it has done so much work. I think every single round, and we're only at round 3, but every round it's done a lot of work. So yeah, Ghost Bell feels really good this format. Play continuing here. See what we end up doing next. It's kind of getting a little tough there on Pascal's side. He's up a game, and we're not even at 25 minutes. Still about 30-something minutes left on the clock. So this duel will go the distance, but now we activate Triple Tactics Talent. This is tough. Just going to draw 2. Draw 2's fine. Pascal, having played on the feature match stage before, just keep those cards close to the chest. Pascal considering his moves. Looks at the hand, looks at the field, looks at the graveyard, scratches the beard. He's a YCS champion for a reason, so he must have something in mind. Takes a look at the extra deck. Almost half and half between Fusion, Sick. Oh no, actually there's quite a bit of Xyz over there. Only 1 monster on the field. It's not like we're going to be able to link summon anything interesting here. But activating Super Polymerization, discarding Gaddock. And looks like it's going to be 2 light dragon monsters with different names. And so we shall introduce Mud Dragon of the Swamp here. Substantially reduces the number of threats on the field and really gets rid of the issues of having to Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, right? You don't have to worry about these giant level 12 synchros showing up out of nowhere. Oh, but it can't be the Mud Dragon. There we go. It's Garura. Garura. So Garura, Resonant Wings. Certainly here to flap on by, maybe drop off some new cards into the hand if it goes to the graveyard. Will these Wings of Resonance be enough? Pascal maybe passing? Could do an SP Little Knight and try to banish something. Seems the direction we're going. This is game 2. So Desiree and Rob equally see that star over there by Pascal's name. That means he won game 1. And if it was game 3, you'd see a star next to both their names. It's new, so it's not anything you miss. We're trying some new stuff, new ways to communicate information. But we are going to SP Little Knight target. Looks like we're going to tribute for the effect. And it doesn't seem like there's any response. Yes, we're not in Genesis format. We put the Link monsters in the extra monster zone. We do get a draw off of the Garura. Go into the graveyard as a Link material. Still triggers that effect. But now Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon is on the field. And that is going to mean not only the ability to negate the activation of a card effect that's activated on the field, gaining that 1,000 attack points, but also, yeah, you know, when the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon is destroyed by a card effect at the end of the turn, it's going to be painful. But wow, check this out. As SP Little Knight becomes Typhon, Superstar Slayer Sky Crisis, going to go and detach that material, can't be responded to because the monster is too big. It's over that 3,000 attack. Effects can't be activated. Bounce that back. Attack for 2,900. Set 2 cards. Pascal passes. Good on the players to keep track of the game state. We're going to cut the deck, and Henry draws for turn. Still has great resources there with all of his face-up spell and trap cards. So during the standby phase, let's get back that Primite Dragon Ether Barrel. Do have a normal monster in the graveyard. Have several. Going to summon Primite Dragon Ether Barrel. Interesting that he reached for the extra deck first, but we're not going to miss the opportunity here to set an additional card. Players discuss amongst themselves Superstar Slayer's effect. But now we'll set Primite Fusion. Oh, there could be only one. Wow. Perfect choice for Memento, considering how many strange monster subtypes you have. And there are a lot of monster types in Blue Eyes. It's mostly just Spellcaster and or Dragon. And now you're locked into Dragons as long as that card is going to stay on the field. If you had access to a Primite Drill Beam, that'd feel pretty nice right now. But we're going to set with the effect of the True Light, a Majesty of the White Dragons, allowing you to destroy cards up to the number of Blue Eyes you have on your field or graveyard or hand. Because you're going to show your Blue Eyes, and then you go pop some cards. So, didn't even skip a heartbeat there, right? It's not going to be a great turn for Henry, but he has good setup and lots of resources. Blue Eyes able to grind games out with the best of them. Seto Kaiba would rather jump off a building than admit defeat, and this deck does the same. So, maybe going to special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck. Oh, we're sending it with the Mausoleum of White. Okay, so we're not using the effect there. Of course, you can't special summon. I just mentioned it myself. There could be only one. One Pharoahmone, not two. So pass, and Pascal draws for turn. Little deck hygiene here as we cut the deck. But Pascal hanging in there. Just managing with there can be only one, a set card, and Superstar Slayer Typhon. The only thing that'd be funnier is if Henry flipped over Rivalry of Warlords, and it was just one monster versus one other monster. So now we are going to activate the Memetotlan Fusion. Take a look at the graveyard here for what fusion materials we might find. And it looks like the materials are Memetotlan Sleepy and Tatsuno Toshigo. And I would assume one more. Oh no, maybe we're just going for the Twin Dragon. Only saw 2 cards. All right, so we are going to go and flip over the Majesty of the White Dragons. And going to chain the Memetotlan Bone Party. You can't destroy my cards. I'll destroy my cards. Did get an update, by the way. Our lunch break is going to end after this round, we will be back at 1:55 p.m. local time, which is about an hour from now. So we'll see if we can't get something going on. Maybe we'll interview some players. Maybe there's a public event. We'll get some Genesis gameplay. Gosh, Genesis would be so cool to see. I don't know about those of you in the chat, but I've had quite a few Genesis duels already and really enjoyed the format. Just want to see if we can't get it live and in concert here for you. So taking a look at the graveyard here. Pascal trying to figure out what's next. How is he going to bust down Blue Eyes? Well, he gets by with a little help from his friends, and the next Memento friend entering the fray as he clutches his deck, examining the graveyard at the same time. No show yet. Pascal, obviously a YCS champion from earlier this year's YCS Houston, but that would have been from last year's format, technically. We're now in the 25 through 2026 season, and the World Championships for 2026 will be in Japan this year, as announced at the World Championship in France this year. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an international affair. Probably going to see it come back to the North American region in 2027. So we got 2 great years of dueling before the World Championships are back here. So it looks like we are going to try to get a little fusion on. Akihiron's effect and Mimitotlan Twin Dragon both working in concert here. So we'll see Mimitotlan Darkblade return to the field. Oh, we're going to discard that Tekutlika to destroy the face-down Primite Fusion. Interestingly, didn't go for the True Light. Maybe just worried about it, like, oh, what's Blue Eyes going to do to me? Or maybe going into a Guardian Chimera later in the turn. I feel like Guardian Chimera is like, it's 2 decks, maybe 3. Brandon, we know Guardian Chimera loves that. Memento, oh yeah. And Archmage, Archmage. Oh, an Illusion Chimera. I guess Chimera's in the name after all. Pascal got a full look at the graveyard there. And bringing out Mimitotlan Mace and Mimitotlan Akihiron. Mace can destroy a Memento card in order to search out a Memento card from the deck. Akihiron, always fun, able to destroy and attack directly. Because really, what this deck's trying to do, you might be like, he's just moving cards. He's just moving cards on the table. I don't know what's going on, Pharoahmone. What's going on? The goal here is to get that Akihiron effect, get your monsters that are level 9 or higher Memento monsters able to attack directly, bring out the 3,000 attack Creation King and the 5,000 attack Combined Creation. 3 plus 5 is what, chat? It's 8. And how many life points do we start in this game with? 8,000. That's really what you're trying to do. You're just trying to solve the Rubik's Cube until it comes out with all faces pointing your way. See the Anguish? Anguish is going to grab the Seahorse, then Anguish destroys itself for its effect to bring out a level 2 or lower. That'll bring out Gaddock. Gaddock allows a Memento card to be added from the graveyard back to the hand. Didn't see which one we added. Seahorse joining the fray. And now we're actually summoning 2 level 5s for K9 Ripper. Pascal, I didn't know you had it in you. So Mimitotlan Sleepy going to fuse. The materials are 2 from the field and 1 from the hand. Creation King showing back up, sending a Creation King. Henry Martinez not conceding yet. Still hasn't activated the effect of True Light. But that Ripper just ripped right out of the extra. I don't think I've ever seen Memento Xyz summon. but it can. Now, Creation King is going to be able to send a couple of monsters to the graveyard. And that included Combined Creation and another Creation King to get the Memento Mictlan field spell. Now that Combined Creation is in the graveyard, might as well special summon out via its own condition, returning 5 Memento names back. It's going to be, look like Gaddock, Anguich, a Goblin, Mace, and then shuffling back another Creation King there. And then we got the Memento Mictlan. So now they almost have the Ancient Gear Golem effect. When it attacks, no, you can't. That's all you got to know. What does it do? No, you can't. What do you mean? No, you can't. Now, I did see that we had... Yeah, that's it. 3,000, 5,000 direct, and that's the game. Henry Martinez rolling back in his chair. Pascal is your winner. And makes sense. Houston's YCS champion, a hometown hero, back at it again with his favorite deck. And showcasing that he's got some new tricks. And we really didn't see any K9 main deck monsters. But just was going rip. That's wild. So Pascal winning the match here. We'll get a chance to talk with a familiar face to the Houston scene. And that's dope. Just seeing that, you know, it wasn't a fluke. If you're aware, Pascal's brother, also a champion, I believe a Shonen Jump champion, but an equivalent event, right? SJCs, YCS, it's all the same thing, just a name change. And he's quested to beat his brother so we could have 2. We'll talk to him all about that and more when we see him shortly. But yeah, just great stuff, great stuff. If you got any questions for Pascal, you might type them in the chat now. You can do that whenever we have our featured match interviews. And no targeting there. Yeah, you know, Henry still trying to put it together, explaining to his opponent what it is he could have done. I think he did great. I think Blue Eyes is great. I just think that sometimes, you know, Blue Eyes Memento hit their, like, peak power levels about the same time. Memento, like, late last year, but coming into its own as Duelists recognize its power. Getting into the finals of the World Championship in Master Duel, and played most recently, I think the highest finish we've seen was from PAC, as in PAC TCG. But he brought that to the TCG World Qualifying Points Playoff at the NAWCQ. And just good stuff. But yeah, Pascal got it done. And Blue Eyes is still showing up. I'm still playing my Blue Eyes is for Genesis, so pay me no mind. But we'll find out exactly how long Pascal's been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And how long he intends to continue playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, man, bright future so far. Could be our regional champion, we'll see. In Game Guy's tradition, on round 9, our final round for the day, we will take the number 1 table. So you can see exactly what undefeated Yu-Gi-Oh! Looks like in the year of our Ra 2025. Man, those Dragon Mines were cool, though. Hydra Gaming, we can't necessarily ask him about any private knowledge. If he wants to talk about it, that's fine, but technically he's got to keep that deck list a secret. But I didn't see any K9 main deck monsters, and we saw him shuffle through that deck quite a little bit. So I'll ask him what he was doing with that Ripper. But good stuff across the board.
Because I was like thinking, because for my strategy, I was thinking, okay, I need to wait until he did something from grave to negate both of them, and then just tag out.
Okay, looks like they're packing up. Hope to see him soon. There we go. And as I see our judges coming down, we've got an illustrious throne for our Memento King. Fancy seeing you here, Duelist. All right, Pascal, if you'll have a seat here, go and throw the headset on. And I'm going to start with a question I asked you across the continent. I remember you saying you had never been to Game Guys. Is that right?
Well, this is my second time.
Second time, second time.
Yeah.
How do we like it here?
It's good. It's a good atmosphere. You know, just like I really like the way that it's set up and everything. And pretty comfortable chairs too.
Yeah, yeah, especially when you're doing as well as you are. So I want to talk about. There's even questions in the chat here about like, wait a sec, we didn't see any canine monsters, and then just the Ripper drops out, combining obviously Akihiron and your Seahorse. I'll say that for short. So what's the thinking there? Just to add a little bit more infrastructure?
Yeah. So I didn't really.
Oh, wait, here, you want to get the microphone a little higher so they can hear you.
Sorry, is better?
Yeah, oh yeah, way better.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't really like this pure like. I mean, I didn't like the K9 strategy with Memento. I felt like sometimes you added some extra bricks to your deck. I didn't think it was necessary. I think this format, pure Memento, is probably better than K9 Memento. So for me, I like Ripper because it's really easy to make. And when you're going for kill shots, you can go into Ripper and then insulate yourself against the Nibiru.
Yeah, it's really, really like just Memento was strong. When I saw you, I'm just like, wait, is Memento really happening? And the deck still seems like it just does everything it's supposed to do.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they're not hitting it. So.
They're just not hitting it. It's one of those decks, and this is a weird comparison. It reminds me of like Crystal Beast or Neospatian. I know that's like a really strange like anime reference, but the individual pieces of the puzzle don't really do a lot, right? You're not winning a duel just because you summoned Gaddock and you got another monster out of it.
Yeah.
It's everything you do, but you're just so good at setting up 3,000, 5,000 all day. So is this the deck, or you just go play Memento until they just chop it into pieces?
I'm the type of person that likes to play like a deck for a really long time because I feel like to really get good at the game, especially with how complicated the game is now, it's really hard to get good with like 3, 4, or 5 decks. Not really realistic. So
That's me, and I'm mad at all of them.
so yeah, for me it's like I'll stick with 1, maybe 2 decks at most. Like playtest a lot, and through just learning the lines and everything, I learned unique tech choices and what makes sense versus what doesn't make sense to play.
Well, you are kind of a Memento specialist. We don't have YCS champions with Memento under the belt every day. Is there any deck you feel like Memento is scared of right now, where you sit across the table like, oh, no?
Yeah, I think Lunalight is probably the scariest deck to play against because it summons number 41 Babushka too as well.
Oh, yeah,
along with the Lagger Dancer, which Babushka is already a struggle like to get rid of consistently with Memento. And then obviously you have to deal with the 2 towers too as well, so it's hard. So I do have some things in my side deck, particularly for that matchup, even though they don't really cross over into other matchups too well.
Makes sense, makes sense. We won't make you spill any surprises, but it's good to know that you're like still figuring out, how to get through that. Since you are a YCS champion, since we've seen you at YCSs, are you playing at YCS Anaheim next week? Is this just practice?
I am, yeah. So this is actually, I just want to see how good the tech choices I decide are today, and just like seeing how I do and everything, I might decide to make a few changes and everything. But I've been liking the deck so far.
That's cool. It's good. It's good to see you as always. That said, do you have any shout outs for anybody at home? Maybe the brother as you try to chase his record?
I guess shout out to my brother Carl, who was supposed to make it to the event, but he had some work that he had to get taken care of. But hopefully, he could take one home.
Yeah, we'll get one next time. That's right. If I remember right, he's an SJC champion. You're a YCS champion.
Yep.
It's the race to see who gets to the second one, right?
It's a big difference, right?
No, I mean SJC, man, the old days. People don't know how good they have it these days. That's what it says. Well, that's cool. We'll let you get and enjoy your lunch break because at 1:55 is when the next round starts. So I want you to have as much of that time as you can. But good seeing you as always.
Yeah. Definitely.
And same thing, chat. We'll be back at 1:55. We'll make sure to get that on the screen. Take care in the meantime.
So I can put pot of greens in and everything.
I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, understood. I told Jordan, I was
Duelists. We're just kind of hanging out here. As you saw, 1:55 p.m. is when the next round is going to start. But I'll check in with you and then apparently drop the microphone. My bad. We are about to go into, again, round 4. We are going to have 9 total rounds today. So we'll have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 6 more rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is great. Doom Dimensions format has been popping off. We've seen Memento, Blue Eyes, Yummy, Canine Cyber Dragon, Draco Tail, and even Radiant Typhoon Speedboy. Trying to see what other weird stuff we can find to put up on stream here from some excellent players. We had Fire King Jirak in the mix. We might be able to get that up there too. So there's a lot of really cool decks that I want to showcase here. And also just showcase all the great people. We've got like YCS champions, NAWCQ #1 players who have competed in 2 world championships. This shop is real Yu-Gi-Oh! It really is. And hopefully we get to showcase some other great stuff here soon too. Also, shout out to anybody who's joining us just now. I appreciate your patience. We are in a lunch break, and we'll probably put the screen back up just so you can see all the duelists just out there just doing their thing. A lot of cool stuff going on right now, and also good luck in the Duelist Cup, man. If you're just like watching this while the Duelist Cup is going on, may your remote mouse never have its batteries die. May you never misclick, and I hope you get all the Duelist points you can eat. But speaking of eating, we still have a little bit of a lunch break left. Let me make sure I don't have any sauce over here. I'm teasing. But we will be back at 1:55 p.m. local time. Look at your watch. You may see that it says X33. Maybe you're in California. Maybe you are in YCS Lille, France, trying to sleep and just thinking, I could go for a few more rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! But either or, we'll see you in about 22 minutes. And, well, maybe sooner if we can get everything going before then. But take care, and we'll see you soon at 1:55 p.m. Central Standard Time. Duelists. We are actually about to enter round 4 soon. Thank you for your patience here because people need a lunch break and they're not at home or wherever you are watching this broadcast. But we have still a lot of great duels left in the tournament. A correction, by the way. I thought we were going to have 9 rounds of Swiss. We actually only had 217 players. So if you have the tournament policy guidelines memorized, you know that means 8 rounds of Swiss. So that only means we've got still 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we still have plenty of duels, right? That's 5 total, 6 total numbers. But it's 5 total rounds from here. So we still have some good stuff. That means round 8, we're going to have that coveted table 1 spot of just whoever's going head to head. A lot of strange stuff out here in the tournament as people still figure out the format. There's been some smoke screening into like Regenesis. There's been some smoke screening into Kashtira. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. Take a brief look. I don't think we got anybody in a room yet. No, we do not. So we're still just kind of hanging out here as we are waiting for our players to come on down. It's really been cool here seeing people who came in from outside of the greater Houston area. I've got some judge friends here from Florida, and they're like, yeah, this is a different experience. So finally, because when I say it, don't mean nothing. But when somebody else does it, then I'm onto something, and that's cool. So far, though, everything is good. Looks like we are going to have our players coming on down soon. Very excited for that, and it's going to be a very high number table. It's table 7. So you know it's good stuff when actually like table 7 is showing up here. I wonder what kind of weird deck they're playing. Well, we'll find out shortly. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. If you ever have any information you want to drop us, maybe some feedback about the stream, you can always slap it down in the chat. And that is being monitored. We actually have more staff now, which thank Raw, Obelisk, and Slifer, because it is not easy putting on solo shows. But every little bit counts, and I do see our duelists making their way over there. Judge just gave me the thumbs up, so universal symbol there of all things Yu-Gi-Oh! That said, those duelists are about to go ahead and get on their chairs. So let's go ahead and snap on in so we can see them as well. And so we'll have those names updated in just a moment here, since those are not our duelists. Those are the last sets of duelists. But it looks like once the names are updated, Player 1 is going to be Philip Rodriguez. Player 2 is going to be Gabriel De Leon. And we also have arranged to try to get some Genesis gameplay up on stream if we have a short round. Oh yeah, that's so cool. Philip Rodriguez. It's almost like watching a typewriter type. So excited about Genesis. Finally here. Beta testing was fun, but seeing duelists actually do the duels, that's cool. So, looks like Gabriel De Leon going to be your player 2 over in the blue cap. And over on the red side of things, you've got Philip Rodriguez. And interested to see what these two duelists are playing that got them to table 7. All the way at the top of the pack. Good tiebreakers for sure. And hopefully wherever you are in the world, you're having a good time, whether you're in the future maybe watching this on VOD, or you're just jumping in, you're like, why won't this guy stop talking? Well, I got bad news for you, duelist. I may be doing just a little bit of that over the course of this broadcast. Looks like we are almost ready to get our games on. Love that field center in the center there, featuring Hell Kaiser, right, Zane Truesdale. And so dice roll. Philip rolls the dice, and looks like actually a 9 there. So I believe Philip is going to get an opportunity to go first. Players are shuffling, ready to go. It's time to duel. So here we go. Looks like player 1 is going to be starting this. And let's see what we got going on here, because I am just deathly curious. And we're going to start off with a Molcharmi Fualos. Do see an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. We're going to reveal Ame no Habakiri no Mitsurugi, but it's going to be met with its own Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Good on him to hold on to the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring there for sure. But looks like now we are going to go ahead and activate our Mitsurugi ritual. We're going to ritual summon the Habakiri from the hand, attributing, looks like Saji and Kusanagi from the deck. Now, obviously, Mitsurugi not in shambles because of the loss of the King of the Feral Imps, but certainly a different deck. Of course, pure Mitsurugi is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. But we are going to get that Mitsurugi mirror there. And then let's go ahead and ritual summon again here. This time tributing Habakiri to ritual summon Ame no Mitsurugi no Murakumo. And now the sort of magic drain-like effect requiring your opponent to discard a card if they want their effects to fully resolve. That is going to be taunting Gabriel whenever he starts to make his plays. We did see the Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi get ritual summoned down here. And Habakiri is going to come back. It was properly summoned. And do I see what I think I see? Oh, interesting. So I see, Gabriel's got a very interesting deck. This is going to be fun to see. And gorgeous sleeves, by the way. That is Chaos Goddess of the Underworld there. We've got plenty of level 8s. Are we considering NXC's summon here? Looks like we're just going to set 2 cards. And Philip passes. So it's Gabriel's turn. He draws, shakes his head there, not fully convinced. But the opening hand isn't bad. I see Monster Reborn, Effect Veiler, a couple other fun cards. Thought I saw Monster Reborn, perhaps I did not. But we are going to activate our Rahu Draco Tail. Searching the deck, and looks like we are going to go ahead and grab Urgula, since we can fusion summon using materials from the deck, as long as one is from the hand. The other 2 from the hand, it looks like it's going to be Effect Veiler and looks like a Draco Tail Pan there. And making a Draco Tail Arthalion. So going to go ahead and activate those effects. Looks like we are going to try to grab Ash Blossom back and bounce the Futsuno Mitama no Mitsurugi back into the hand there. So now we'll chain, and it looks like Futsuno Mitama is going to try to revive Kusanagi from the graveyard. Might have another chain as well. Be a Mitsurugi Prayers, I imagine, perhaps tributing the Futsuno Mitama so you don't lose it. Yep. Goodbye. So now you get the search and you might take 800 damage. But it is a good afternoon for dueling. And a beautiful day. I mean, it'll still be sunlight out when this tournament wraps up because it is only 8 rounds a day. Some players may just be watching YCS Lille and our event, trying to figure out what they want to do at YCS Anaheim. Some duels headed there, some not. But speaking of this duel, we are going to see the return of Saji to the field. We're going to special summon the Kusanagi as well. So now we'll get these other effects going. Gabriel picking up the deck there. And we are going to grab the Kitu Draco Tail. Must have been hallucinating on that Monster Reborn because I haven't seen it since. Would be a curious card for this one. It's good. It's good. But Draco Tail tends to run very few spell cards. Sometimes just the fusion spells themselves and nothing else. And we haven't seen anything different than that from Gabriel as he sets one of each of the spell cards from the Draco Tail family face down onto the field. We'll have Kusanagi's effects. And so, goodbye, Futsuno Mitama. Tributing that Mitsurugi monster from the hand. Looks like we're going to grab back the Mitsurugi Prayer. You don't see as much Futsu, but I guess without the King of the Feral Imps, Rock and Pure seems to make a little bit more sense now. And so it looks like Magatama added from the deck to the hand. Definitely an interesting matchup. I feel like Most of what Mitsurugi is about, of course, is pushing back on the opponent. No, you can't keep your monsters. No, you can't resolve your effects for cheap. But at the same time, the explosive, recursive power of Draco Tail makes them extremely well suited for this particular duel. Would you see the Ketu Draco Tail flip face up? Almost thought about checking his face down card. That's still just the same Rahu. Are forced to discard there. We're going to get rid of the Draco Tail Horn from the hand. That's part of the effect of Ame no Murakuma no Mitsurugi. You either discard that extra card or it is negated, but it is only once per turn, so Gabriel's got a little bit of freedom now as he adds Draco Tail Lucius from his deck to his hand. Sort of the Stratos of the deck, right? Normal summon, get a card. Was there anybody else besides Stratos? I guess Gadgets. Gadgets precede Stratos. But we are going to see the fusion there for Secretarion. And looks like we're just going to set some cards. Did add something back to the hand. And take a look through the graveyard. Going to go ahead and banish the Urgula. Excuse me, not banished. Return to the bottom of the deck. My bad. It was sitting in the banishment just for a second. But now we're going to normal summon Lucius. Doesn't seem like a response. Interesting.